in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of prime. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Hey.
Welcome to episode 343 of Fourth and Jawn. I'm Gail Saunders here with Mr. Mal Davis in the house. Tonight we are talking Zeke, Elliott, and running back prospects. And we're going to sprinkle a little one last live mock draft. If you weren't here for last show, we did a little mock draft. Got everyone a little excited. We did the Bijan version for the Bijan stands. Just to get
it out the way, man.
We have our resident Bijan stand. He's working tonight, Evan. I think Prime is a Bijan stand.
Prime said he was cool with Bijan going at 10. Yeah.
Okay. But overall, we have to give the people what they want, the information they want to know about. All the running backs not named Bijan, but
it's a lot of them, bro. It's a lot of them.
But how are you feeling today, man?
I'm good, man. Back and leg still improving. I appreciate everybody too, like the well wishes and stuff. Yeah, y'all amazing people, man. So I'm always glad to be on here on y'all on the platform, just talking football. We're talking running backs, which is maybe my favorite positional group outside of offensive line. So excited to get to it, my brother. Excited to see you. I know Tank gonna join us soon, so let's get it in.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like, we're trying to think about our running back group and how it's set up. Yeah. Before we get into it though, there was some news on there's some news on the timeline that kind of sparked some conversation.
Yes, sir.
Adam Schefter tweets out. He tweets this out. I don't know if you can read that. Cowboys running back Zeke Elliott has narrowed down his options about where he wants to play. That's the Eagles, the Jets, and the Bengals, and he would like to make his decision about where to sign by the end of next week. Just recently, we have John Clark chime in. I'm told as of right now, the Eagles have not engaged in conversations with Zeke Elliott about joining the team and are happy with the running backs that they have right now. Seems the Eagles, the Bengals, Jets are a wish list for Zeke Elliott and where he would like to play. And the timeline has been, you see Lane Johnson with the little eye emoji. So that you're just like, Lane, what are you doing, bro?
Oh, the players. Because the players know what's up. First, let me say this, bro. Like, I'm not anti-Zeke, right? Like, I was an Ohio State fan. Like, I saw what that man could do. He destroyed in the NFL up until the knees and everything. In my opinion, if you getting him on a deal that makes sense for a year, Zeke, Rashad Penny, and Kenny Gainwell, brother, behind this offensive line, stop playing with me, man.
No.
Tank, get out of here, man. You can't wait, man. It's not your turn yet, brother. What up, Tank? How you doing, bro?
Chilling, man. When y'all said that y'all was coming on here to talk about this cocker made me
he made sure to come home.
I was like, dude, if you go back and look through the annals of time, with Cowboys, I'll put it this way: Orlando Scandrick, Chris Bonio, Yes. Why would it? I don't. If you're a true, I don't know. It just never worked. Even when we went there, Harold Carmichael said it just didn't feel right. So
listen, I hear it.
Put it this way.
We talking football. We talking wins. But see, that's the thing. DeMarco Murray signed the top of the food chain deal. We talking Zeke on the cheap on a 1 year. Man, listen, brother. I think. Listen, brother. Him and Rashad Penny. Could you imagine what they would do to opposing defenses and how that would open this offense up? We talking Bijan. You don't need Bijan if you can pull that off.
So you trying to get away from the Bijan, huh?
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to get away from Bijan. Yo, Tank, people saying fix your mic, Brody.
Yeah, we trying to spice it up too. Because the timeline talk with Bijan, obviously we have to talk about it. He had a pre-draft visit. At the end of the day, I just like to talk all the Bijan stands. Before you say, you love Bijan, have you gone and checked out all the other running backs? And that's what we're going to do today. But before we move into that direction, looking at our group here, our running back group. Got a little graphic here. This is what it looks like. We have Trey Sermon bringing up the back end. Who still
come back in and fix my mic.
Trey Sermon is looking for his opportunities. We got Boston Scott, who's been the giant killer, been a level of consistency, a third down, a threat on screens, also down by the goal line, very productive. Kenny Gainwell, again, he's been a jack of all trades. Obviously, he's not a road grader, but he's got a nose for the end zone. Rashad Penny, who coming in on $600,000 guaranteed, coming off a injury laden career so far. This is what it looks like. What stands out to you when you think about this group, Mel?
Well, I'm excited about Kenny Gainwell, man. I see a couple other people in the comment section talking Kenny G. Excited about Kenny Gainwell. I really liked him coming out because of his receiving ability. I thought you might be able to kick him out to the slot, get him busy on some of those quick routes out of the backfield. But I was really impressed down the stretch of the end of last year and in the playoffs, specifically that San Francisco game. He was getting behind the tackle. He was getting in the tackles and getting right. So, I think that Kenny Gainwell is a part of it. Boston Scott, anytime he touches the ball, especially against the Giants, he's always going to be a killer. And, it's the big if is Rashad Penny. If we get 14 games plus the playoffs out of Rashad Penny, then I think that this team is going to be really hard to defeat. So Trey Sermon is a, question mark. Big banger. Sergeant Walker, what up, Brody? I saw that you mentioned, what do we need Zeke for if we have him? I think Zeke is a proven commodity where Trey Sermon isn't. So I like the group. I definitely think you go into the draft and add one of the people that we'll talk about in a second. I definitely don't think they're finished, but it's a good group so far. A lot of young dudes.
Yeah, looking at the group now, thinking of the idea of Zeke. I just don't, it's hard to watch the stank off of a Cowboy. It's just a different cultural vibe. Philadelphia athletes that are here are just, they get it after a while. Like he's been I'd say he's been babied by the organization. He's used to having things his way. Obviously, I was a fan of his coming out of the draft. I fell off that wagon as soon as he got drafted. And then, a couple, decisions he's made off the field. But at the end of the day, on the field, he's been putting up numbers. But I'd like to think of Zeke as he's probably like a 2016 Mercedes, one of those nice ones when back in the day with like 200,000 miles on it.
Yeah, it's a lot of miles.
You probably got like
the front axle all messed up. Like the axle's a shot.
When is it going to fall off? Because we saw Tony Pollard put on for Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that I'm not talking about Zeke as a coming in here 300 touches dude. I think a very specific role. But in the goal line area, he can still block on third down, right? Like we're still watching him pick up pass rushers. And so, if you have a situation where Rashad Penny's getting the majority of run, you working Kenny Gainwell in, spot giving, Zeke some hit carries. If Gainwell goes down or Penny goes down, you have somebody that can rotate in. Saw folks saying that he's not really a fit for what Sirianni wants to do, but the way that blocking works, even out of the RPO, Zeke is trying to get north and south. You got spots for a north and south runner every time. So, I personally don't think that he is done just period. I think he's done as the guy he used to be in Dallas, but I'm never going to turn my back on a productive player that might come in and add something to your team. DeMarco 2.0, if you signing him for $5 million, he's not DeMarco Murray, bro. Like context matters, man. The amount of money that you pay somebody matters. But I hear you. Listen, y'all hate the Cowboys as much as I do. I want that Super Bowl, bro. I want a Super Bowl, bro.
Now Will talks about the spectrum. He's like, we went from Bijan mock draft talk love stories to Zeke. That's how the timeline rolls. You get a bit of news, and then everyone gets excited. I saw the Keanu O'Neal was brought in for a free agency visit.
Like
That's very interesting. But we're talking running backs today. So if you want to be part of the conversation, it's about running backs. It's about running backs in the draft. We spoke on a little bit about the roster, running back roster. We got Mr. Hollis Thomas with the broken mic coming back to the scene.
Can you hear me better? Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah, you might not want to drink on the program. How about
that?
That's
a little water. I'm not drinking. I don't want you guys to anger me anymore about this Ezekiel Elliott bullshit. No one, nobody after they've been used up and thrown away wet. The fuck out of here.
Listen, that motherfucker can score 10 touchdowns for us in some situations, convert some third downs in some situations, bring his wide stats up on overhead for the right money.
I don't know. I'm gonna be skeptical. I'm gonna be skeptical about it until he proves me wrong. I'm going off of what I've seen and what I've been a part of. I was a part of Chris Bonio not quite kicking it when we were playing against his team. I don't know. I don't see him coming here though.
Nah, I don't think so. I think the Bengals probably the best spot for him, because they talking about getting rid of Mixon.
Mixon, yeah, he's a problem.
Mixon is tough.
Yeah, he's a bit of an idiot. Well,
he's a whole lot of an idiot.
Yeah, he's call him the proverbial off the field can't get right.
Yeah,
can't
get out of his own damn way shooting kids and shit.
Damn. I mean, overall,
I guess he wasn't supposed to say that, huh?
I mean, overall comments, flavor of the comments is pretty much anti-Zeke, but
nobody wants Zeke.
But I did see a good majority of, I'd say 25% of Eagle fans liking the idea. I saw 10% of Eagle fans like it just to make Cowboy fans mad.
Well, the only way I can see it making Cowboy fans mad if he come up here and kick ass and do the shit that he wasn't doing down there.
Like he 100% comes here with a role, bro. So like that, the argument to me is null and void. He not coming here to be the bell cow, but you gonna I wouldn't turn my back on somebody that still got juice in a place where we need the help. We can't rely on Rashad Penny, bro. We don't know if we get Rashad Penny for a week or for a whole season. So I feel like you still got a plan on alternatives.
It's like I don't think they're gonna rely on Rashad Penny like that.
I don't think you can.
But I think the thing is you brought Rashad Penny here for some competition, and if you get him and cheap too. Yeah. If you get Zeke at cheap, I don't see why. But if he shows one iota of losing, I don't know. And you have to be if you do bring him in for competition purposes, he's got to really earn his way on the team. That name don't mean shit.
Who are you talking about, Zeke?
Yeah, Zeke. If that bring him,
yeah, absolutely.
Everybody keeps talking. It's like, but if Bijan is there, I'll say take a flyer on him. This just because he will be
Bijan at 10.
Yeah, because if you look at it, you'll have him under contract for 5 years without having to truly pay him. And you
paying a 10th overall pick, Brody. You're not paying them like quarterback money, but you giving them some bread.
You're not paying them quarterback money, but you also are not paying them like 10 or 12 million a year money. So he's going to be on a rookie deal, which is going to be cap friendly for you, especially if you get what you think you can. Well, I feel like he's capable of.
Yeah, like you said, that 5th year option. That's why I'm like, if there's a player, for me, it's Jamar Gibbs at the end of the first round. Like he's somebody that I want a 5th year option on at the end of that first round. He's dirt cheap, and that kid is explosive, dude. Like what Gibbs is doing.
But you telling me you don't like Rashawn Johnson?
Yeah, I like Rashawn Johnson. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At the end of the first round,
you said Bijan Johnson again?
No, I used to say
Rashawn.
I said Rashawn. Remember, I kept saying Johnson was because that's who I was looking at. I'm looking at Rashawn Johnson, and everybody just thought I just thought talking about him. And then I like Bijan, but like he's like one of those people that you can't miss on. But I kind of feel like Mal a little bit. If you could trade out of that spot and move down and still get some quality thumper, I was like, but then we gonna miss out on Bijan, and you start seeing him be like, damn, it could have been with us. So, but it depends on what we're looking for. I don't see us passing up a talent like that though, because we've done that shit in the past, and we got Rager, we got Aguilar, we got Danny Watkins, we got JJ Arcega-Whiteside,
Marcus Smith,
Marcus Smith, we got Sid Lang.
So let's talk about some of the running back prospects while we get into it. I mean, obviously we talked about Bijan. We've talked enough about Bijan. We know what he is. I mean, we did sprinkle a little Gibbs commentary last show, but I know Mal is a big Gibbs fan. I saw a lot of your tweets recently.
Oh yeah.
Of Gibbs. What is it that you like about Gibbs from Alabama?
Explosion!
Yo, son. I mean, when you talk and so somebody had mentioned in the comments that Nick Sirianni wants somebody quick dudes that could get to the north and south. This man right here, if he gets the hole, he's out, son. You're not catching him.
Yeah.
And so, for me, I like the opportunity to add him into an offense like this. And folks are like going on and on about Bijan behind this offensive line. Jahmyr Gibbs behind his offensive line would be unfair, dude. And then he can also split out into the slot to play wide receiver. Like his versatility is not far off from Bijan. He's just 20 pounds less, right? And like Bijan, top running back without a question. Jahmyr Gibbs is a hell of a football player. We're going to talk about a couple other people here, but went from Georgia Tech where he was one of the dudes, but running behind a not great offensive line and with a quarterback that wasn't really giving him much, goes to Alabama and puts on a show, bro. And so I think he slides in here and becomes an instant playmaker without a question.
Now Gibbs
and again, at 35, you get him for the 5th year without a question.
Now Gibbs, to me, you talk about adding him into this Eagles offense, which was already explosive, but the fact that you got a guy who, he could use him in them satellite situations, but you could use him in a multitude of ways. But he puts his foot in the ground. He has a little bit of a Chris Johnson takeoff to me, or a little Jamal Charles-esque to his game. Yes. Some people are saying Kamara, but Kamara's a little bit bigger.
Kamara light, yeah. Exactly.
But again, if as you move back from Bijan, you're going to hear some of these other running back prospects are not going to have the all-around flavor as a Bijan, but I think his size, I'm not sure. I gotta look at his blocking a little bit more.
So I would say that's definitely one of his things is going to be his blitz pickup period, right? Like he's not committed to it, but for me, it's a skill, not will thing. He just doesn't know how to do blitz pickup, right? Like they never spend a lot of time with him. He's trying to leak out of the backfield to catch passes, but you see him a couple times cut blocks, get in there, do it with the right way. For me, it's all of what you said. He adds a little bit of flavor in the return game. He's just an all-around weapon, bro. That like we'll get into, the wide receivers like Zay Flowers, who is some other, skill position players that are just weapons and just all-around football players. That's who Jahmyr Gibbs is for me. At 5'11", 199, I look at it like if he could put on 5 to 6 pounds of muscle, we talking a 5'11", 206, 207 pound back. Come on, dog. Him at 207. Who's stopping him?
Big Tank, how do you feel about Gibbs from Alabama?
You know what? Initially, I was saying get him with our pick, with the second pick in the draft. I was saying get a DB and then grab him because I love the way he sticks his foot in the ground and gets upfield. And like he's a game changer and he's gone all the time. Yeah. I was like, I wouldn't be mad. I would love getting it. I just want a running back that we can count on. Besides Gainwell, because Gainwell is going to be there. He's with us, and I still want to see what else he has to offer. How he continues to evolve. But we need that guy that we can count on. And we lost our guy. We lost our guy to classic fumble. Go fornicate yourself, Cal Bundy.
Shout out to resident Eagle fan Chris Nady. He says no Zeke, please and thank you.
No Zeke, please and thank you. But no, it's like I love the kid, number one out of Alabama. He's a pretty good guy.
Just fly, man.
It's like we haven't. It's like we had. I guess you could say we got teased with that with Miles.
A little bit, but see, he understands the north and south piece, right? That when he sees the whole, he's not a. That's what I really liked about Jamar Gibbs, and which kind of surprised me when I went and really did the deep tape study. He's not a dancer, bro. Like he isn't a dance. Like Bijan dances more than Jamar Gibbs does. Jamar Gibbs is trying to figure it out or go down because he ain't trying to get beat the hell up. And so I respect that, right? Because he's looking for the play, but he knows how to get 2 yards, 3 yards. But bro, if you miss him, gone. Like if you miss Bijan, you might catch him, right? Like we got ain't nobody catching this kid from behind, bro. Nobody.
Yeah. I think when you talk about running backs in space, Bijan, you can line him up outside. He's tremendous outside. Gibbs, another one. You put him on these crossing route. I see this cross route. He's on a linebacker. It was the mismatch was unreal. Like at the end of the day, Then you think about the spacing of the offense is already opened up. So underneath, all the wrinkles that you could add with him, the screen game could be very interesting. Yeah. I mean, either or with those backs, at the end of the day, it's very interesting. But Sean,
hold on 1 second. So Sports King said here, is Gainwell a poor version of Gibbs? I would say no, only because Gainwell isn't nearly as fast. Like Gibbs is legitimately like track speed fast. And so for me, that kind of separates the two of them. I like what Gainwell brings as like a multi-purpose back. But if you're talking like speed, athleticism, explosiveness, it's not even close, man.
Now, some of these backs we're about to talk about, but I'll briefly talk on it. Shout out to Sean with the question from YouTube. Who would you take out of these three backs, Tank Bigsby, Devon Achane, and Zach Charbonnet? Thoughts? I like a lot of these guys' games. If I was going to rank them 1 to 3 out of this group, I'd go Charbonnet, Bigsby, and Achane. Charbonnet, I think Charbonnet just gives you the overall.
I like him.
It's kind of like set it and forget it. He's going to get you the tough yards. He's also very shifty for his size.
Bro, his hands.
He's a big dude.
His hands. That man can catch the rock, right? Like when I look at skill position players, one of the big things I look at is, are they making catches away from the body, right? Because like that'll determine success, drops, all of those things. And so when I'm watching Charbonnet catching, coming out, running wheel routes, running, benches to the sideline, quick outs, I'm shocked because I came to see a banger and I'm watching the dude eating on third down in the passing game. And so, I love what you said about a set it and forget it. That's sort of what you want, right? Where do you think Charbonnet goes? What grade would you have on him as far as like around? I would flip Achane and Bigsby personally, because Achane is a flyer, dude. His speed is similar to Gibbs. Like it's just game changing. But I do feel like if you put a hand on Achane, he might go out that game. Whereas the other two boys just are straight up maulers.
That's where I'm at with him. What do you think of? With is it Achane or?
It's I think it's Achane.
Okay. What did you think about Charbonnet?
I'll say it real quick. I love Charbonnet. It was Mel he kind of hit me to him, and I kind of, it's like sometimes I get the running back's name confused because Charbonnet. Remember we was doing the mock draft and we kept putting we drafted the quarterback there. I was watching their quarterback too. Their quarterback is a hell of an athlete. When you look at when you start looking at Zach just is like he kind of reminds me of a young LeGarrette Blount. Just running motherfuckers down. It's like he's not gonna like run away from you, but he's gonna run you over. It's constant. It's like he's not going down off of one tackle. One tackle. Go ahead.
A light Arian Foster, bro. When I saw him, I was surprised at how nimble and like graceful he was to be as big as he is. And like the catching piece is really what sold me, because that's what I fell in love with Arian Foster. Like the fact that he doesn't have to leave the field, right? And Charbonnet could pick up third down blitzes. But yeah, I was asking Gail and Tank, I would be curious, you too. Where would you say is the range Charbonnet goes in the draft? Like, what grade would you put on him?
If we being realistic, I put between the mid to late second round to the fourth round. I think he's that talented. I think somebody may. It depends on who comes up. Because I think if somebody who really needs a running back doesn't draft him in the first round, and he's around in the second round, I think they'll grab him because he's one of those backs he's steady and he gives you what you need and a little bit of razzle dazzle. Like you said, the catch is what surprised me and really drew me in.
Yeah, like you said, that razzle dazzle. You go in, you don't expect to see that shit, and then you see it on tape, like,
I mean,
he's handing out tickets to the matinee show,
bro. Like putting on a show. Son.
Defenders on the outside, like a cornerback and him in space, like
they don't want that. They don't want that heat. Especially if he's built up what we'll call momentum, built up a little momentum. He's like I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
Right. Talking physics, nigga. He gonna go right through you, man.
And it's like I think, and the other part too is the nimbleness of when he knows that he can see his bench coming and he can jump. He kind of can jump over them because you know guys when they say this like it's like the worst. I think the worst thing as a player is when you see somebody constantly running over everybody. And you get your chance. Like, you remember when Jamal Green was not Jamal Green, Jamal Anderson doing a little dirty bird shit when he was making examples out of DBs and stuff? Yeah. We had this stunt that we were playing them. Came around and guess who was waiting on them? It's the big homie Tank was waiting on him. He just dropped. He said, "Yeah, I ain't stupid." I was like, "You motherfucker." I thought I was about to have a highlight. But it was like he don't seem like that type of guy though. He gives everybody the smoke.
Now, I had the proper way that you say Devin's name here.
How do you say it? Is it like Achilles? A cane?
Here we go. That didn't save, man.
It doesn't. It says something different, sir.
It's crazy because on the back end here.
I was just looking for it. There we go.
Is it
Devon Achane? Okay.
Achane?
Achane. All right.
You see it now?
Well, it came up a second ago. It's right there. Devon Achane. Now. All right, man. Hey, people, put some respect on Gail, man. He worked hard on the back end, man.
Devon Achane.
I wouldn't respect Gail. I never shortchanged Gail. There be the two white guys that's on our show. I thought we were in Circle of Trust.
Now, Devon Achane, man, he's a guy that explosive.
Texas A&M, explosive.
You talking about speed. At the end of the day, he's a guy that I think when you get him around the corner, he's the guy who could turn the corner. Definitely breakaway real track speed. Yes. But the thing about his game where, in the NFL, it's like, all right, they got to trust you to be able to block. They want you to get the extra yards. How do teams see him in terms of do they see him as a third down guy? Is he going to be on the field? Are you going to trust him on short yardage? And where do you value that when you're drafting a running back?
Yeah. Well, I can attest. I saw a lot of his games, and the game that impressed me was a game that they were playing against. It was either the Longhorns or Alabama, and he pretty much took over the game himself. I thought he was a lot bigger than he was because it was like they didn't seem like they had no other option but him, and he just put him on his back and just ran. He was running through the whole team, dude. Yeah. Pause, but running through the whole team.
A chain. There we go. A chain. Yeah. And that's the thing, because he filled in last year when Spiller got injured, the rookie that went to San Diego. And I was watching a couple of his games, and I felt the same way. I was like, wait, how big is this dude? And so you see, he's a relatively 5'9", $189, $190, not a big guy at all. But like you said, there are times where he just takes a game over completely. And so folks were asking about his special teams ability. He did do kick returns both last year and this year. 613 total yards on 20 attempts, 30.7 yards per return, and 2 touchdowns. So definitely somebody that is similar to Jahmyr Gibbs, gives you multi-purpose, right? That like you can use that speed in other places. But a Kane can fly, bro, without a question.
Yeah.
I just don't know how many hits did he take in the NFL.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. But too, Mal, he showed some to me. He showed some toughness when they were playing Alabama, and then the other part too that I was loving was they was throwing screenplays to him, and he was catching his ability to catch it. And there was one pass I thought they were throwing it to a damn receiver, and it was him on the wheel. No, it was him on the wheel right. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
So he's a bit of a game changer. You don't let the size fool you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, moving on to Tank Bigsby out of Auburn. I think at the end of the day, I think I was watching an interview with Tank, and he was talking about the transfer portal and why he didn't move on from Auburn. He was dedicated to the program, and he wanted to finish it out with Auburn. And at the end of the day, I think he put on for Auburn. Visiting Alabama for last couple years, they hate everywhere I was at. They hate Auburn. It was kind of vice versa, but they I got a lot of hate just for looking at Auburn items in stores and stuff. They're like, you better put that hat back.
Roll Tide.
Yeah. But this guy put on for his team in Auburn, and I think he's one of those guys. He reminds me of a Cadillac. He's forward lean. There's nothing. It's not too crazy flashy about him. He's gonna move forward.
And he for Cadillac. You know what I mean?
Cadillac Williams.
I try to give
Patty too.
I tried to pay homage to him as well. Only real ones though.
He kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, he did, but he was a killer at Auburn.
Yeah.
Monster.
Him and Ronnie
Brown and Brandon. Yo, they had Ronnie Brown, Brandon Jacobs, and him all in the same running back room at Auburn.
But remember, Brandon Jacobs had to go to Southern Illinois to become a Saluki to be a running back because they was they were about to move. They was about to move to the outside linebacker too.
So I mean, so Bigsby's game, he's not like the flashiest, but like he's gonna get those tough yards for you. He'll set his foot in the ground, and he's a slasher too, man. I'm not mad at him. When the guys are talking about the Bijans of the world, when I talk about later round backs, these are the guys that I'm looking at right here.
Right.
Well, he's one of the guys that I think.
Wait. Well, yeah. If you guys looking into the third round, well, we have 1 third-round pick, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So if you think about it like this, if we don't grab one with the first two or three picks, you grab one with that third round. Some of these guys that we're speaking about will be there, and it'll be a value pick. I mean, you get some first-round talent. Yeah.
And I think that the real part.
We kind of shut you down on Tuesday. My bad. We kind of shut you down on Tuesday. When we had the mock draft going, and I kind of agreed with him. That's like because it was the heat of the moment. Telling me where my heart goes, because it's like you want. Given what I seen watching college football, and versus what we had in the backfield, and what we had not only what we had to endure, but what we had to hope that happened. I hope we draft a running back, somebody that's going to be with us for at least about 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So,
well,
on this nice little run.
You made a good point about the fact that like we don't have to take a running back in the first round. And while I love this class of running backs and I love this class of wide receivers, is that you don't have to take either in the first round to get a high quality playmaker, bro. Like these dudes is littered throughout day 2 and the early day 3. Like it's all types of dudes that got hurt and couldn't play this year and got driven down the draft board. And so, it's a lot of talent. I like Tank. I like the name, period. Right. If I got a running back named Tank, I'm feeling good about that. But I think his receiving ability is something that I was a little bit surprised by too, right? Comes out of college with 60-something total receptions across 3 years. I just need people that could do more than one thing, right? Because you don't want to be able to be predictable to a defense. So when your guy comes out on the field, I want them to be on their toes. I think that's what the Eagles are building in this room for the most part. And so, it's a lot of these running backs that can also catch passes, that can block, that you might split out wide, right? To just, man, this offense can be explode. Like, let's keep adding playmakers. Just let this thing just go to the next level.
Yeah, the other part too is that's why I was like, you can't predict what one of those nice tight ends falls to us. Dude, just think about if we run 12s, if everybody think we're 12s, and you kick Dallas out there
in this class,
and you kick one of them big ass tight ends out there on the little chump ass DBs.
Look, you got the De La Porta out of Iowa. People fell in love with Darnell Washington out of Georgia. His humongous self.
And I was
Zach Kuntz from ODU. It's people, man, for sure.
Because Gail, was that you talking about something lining up at offensive tackle?
Yeah, folks talking about that he could potentially grow into an old tackle.
Who's this?
Have you seen him?
Darnell Washington.
Hey, you saw him, didn't you, Val?
I've seen him play. I was looking at him as a tight end, not as an offensive lineman.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Everybody keeps talking about offensive tackle. He don't have no offensive tackle body. He's built like a fucking basketball player. I was watching. I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? When they keep talking about Jason Peters when he came out. Jason Peters looked like he was an offensive lineman. They just lined him over the edge because they had some big motherfuckers.
Right.
Like, what the hell?
Tank with the truth bombs, man. Okay.
I was like, come on, he can be an offensive tackle. No, the fuck he can't. They'll run through his face mask all day long. Better line him up out there wide and let him go throw catch passes.
Yeah.
Yo, Tank sounds like he's talking to us from the 1960s with that much.
Words, man.
Sometimes you motherfuckers need to be waking up.
Sound like Captain America coming from the future. Now we'll talk about another back that if you're a Texas fan, you're probably familiar with. Roshan Johnson, a guy.
It's my boy Roshan.
A guy. I saw him down at the Senior Bowl. He did his thing for the first day, and then he ends up breaking his hand. Still finished the practice, but I was just like, did he leave because he did enough, or did he actually break his hand? But they said he broke his hand. But I think at the end of the day, when you're sitting behind Bijan Robinson, it's very hard to fully put your skills to play when you gotta share time with a guy like that. So you're kind of playing second fiddle. But at the end of the day, I think people have seen what he can bring to the table when it comes in terms of, again, middle round university. These are the guys that I'm talking about, Bijan Stan. So these are guys can give you really great value. I think he's I'm not gonna say he's athletically gifted as some of the burners here, but like he's got a lot of great traits that you're gonna like. Well, I'm just saying athletically compared to the other guys, this is what he doesn't have.
I ain't running around nobody. And to help you out, the Eagles did pay close attention to him during the combine. He interviewed with the Eagles for the longest. Remember that. You heard it here first. Big Tank Dog, Thug Life.
Big Tank Dog. I like Roshan.
I just that's what I was gonna say. The one thing I like about the kid is he gets like my boy from Alabama. He sticks that foot in the ground and gets downhill fast. Look out if you poaching and shoe shoeing, look out.
Well, and Tank, I love what you said about it because I came across kind of the same situation. I'm watching the Texas tape and he's sprinkling in, and I'm like, who is this dude that just keeps? They killing Tank in the chat right now. So
shout out to Wealthy
jumping in, man.
Wealthy Mind says, why did Tank sound like he's speaking through a scuba mask on the water looking for sharks?
Because I am looking for sharks, sucker.
But Roshan is a good pick, good back, could catch, block. He's not gonna split out wide like some of these other dudes did, but he can catch screen passes. Very good football player, like 3rd, 4th round pick, right? Somebody you could wait on.
Again,
I think it's gonna be I think if we go get Rashawn, I think you get him in the 2nd round.
I feel like he'll fall.
I feel
Definitely say.
I'm
I was
feeling
gonna
late.
say third round or
like,
fourth round.
maybe even a fourth round. Like he still might be hanging around depending on how these other running backs shake out.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
lot of
gonna be
backs in this
interesting.
draft.
It's gonna be interesting.
I mean, we're trying to get through as many as we can. I know we're gonna probably miss a couple here, but
Like somebody put up Abdul. What was it?
Oh, yes.
Akbar. What is it?
Israel, yo.
Israel.
Izzy,
Yeah.
yeah, from Pitt. He's on the list. So if you
Yo,
stick with
look at
us,
that.
we're
Look at
gonna
that.
we're
Stick with us
gonna
for a little bit.
we're gonna get to him.
We got y'all,
The
yo.
next guy I wanted to bring up, because these small school guys,
Yeah.
we were talking about Tyjae Spears. When I like I said I wouldn't be lying to you if I got in a car and drove all the way to Alabama for no reason when I wouldn't have had Tyjae Spears on the mind. Tyjae Spears is a guy that I was like, is he? This is how crazy I am because I have to see it in person. Like I want to make sure that this guy. Then he gets drafted by some other team, and then why I spent all the time, I don't know. But Spears is the guy who lit it up. Like Roshan did his thing, Roshan Johnson did his thing, and then Tyjae Spears, after he was the star of all the practices, and he was definitely a guy that all the scouts were. They just couldn't stop talking about him. And after watching his tape and then getting to watch it in person, he's everything that I thought he might be. I know he dealt with a ACL injury and missed some time. So I think if you're talking about the medicals, shout out to Evan. If Evan's around, I don't know what the medicals are looking like with the knee, but I think he's probably cleared. They probably being checked at the combine and everything. But I think Tyjae Spears, man, it's kind of one of those guys where you're talking about the Aaron Jones types. I don't know if he's got as much juice as Aaron Jones, but this guy's an all around talent. He's definitely got the want to. The want to was there, man. What do you think about Tyjae?
You say what?
What do you guys think about Tyjae?
You know what? I seen him play a couple of games. I kind of liked him. The funniest thing was one of my coaches was actually coaching him. One of my old coaches from the Saints was down there coaching him, and I asked him about it. He said he's a great kid. I like what he can do on the field. But as far as I think he's a late rounder.
Yeah, I like Tyjae, man. Gail was excited about the ball, hit me up. I hadn't really gotten into him yet because I usually start O-line on the defensive side of the rock. So
hey man, fuck you,
Tyjae. Yo, they're killing you in this chat. But yeah, so went and watched him. I think that he prototype similar to Kenny Gainwell, right? Like I think that there's a lot of redundancy there. He doesn't really bring anything that we don't necessarily have in the room. I think he's a good football player. I like him, man. Again, for me, it's all about like the multifaceted piece. When you step on the field, can you do multiple things? Tyjae checks that box. If you get him somewhere 4th round, 5th round, you feel like it's a value pick, I'll be with it. But honestly, I think that we already have Gainwell, and he can do a lot of what Tyjae does, and he's proved that he could do it in the NFL already.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like you want, like when you think about your running back room, you don't really want redundancy. You want a little bit of the flavor. Everyone's talking about this power back. Everybody's in the comments on timeline. We're looking for that LeGarrette Blount style running back. We got Rashad Penny. He's just on borrowed time, and like that's.
But it's like I'm kind of like Mal. I did like to pick up because it was for cheap. How long is he gonna be healthy?
Yeah.
How long? Yeah. It's like it's like because the best ability is availability. There's a reason why we were able to get him for so cheap.
Right.
It's a couple of the guys that are mercenaries that we got for mercenary prices because they're coming back. So
yeah.
It was the funniest thing was is when everybody was down on him. I was like, well, if you look at his offensive line, I want to see him behind this offensive line because he was the one thing that I did see was he was running back with the most yards after contact when he was running the ball. I was like, he's getting contact behind the damn line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and flip it, right? Like Philly, our backs are close to the top in yards before contact, right? Like they able to get downfield before they getting hit. And so when you add somebody like Rashad Penny to that mix, I absolutely love Rashad Penny. Won me a fantasy football championship with the end of his season. What, for 2 years ago? That 4-game run that he went nuts. I won chip off that, bro. So he forever my man. And like I was watching him trying to figure out like, yo, what happened all of a sudden? And again, it was that explosiveness. It was the buy-in to when I see the hole, be the hole, right? That like he didn't feel. How many times you're going to get hit behind the line before you start losing faith in the people in front of you? It's just common sense. And so, you know, when you have a situation where he could step in, I think Tank makes a valuable point, right? That like maybe it means less hits and compromising positions and more predictable hits that he can brace himself for, sidestep, get out of bounds, stuff like that.
The one thing, too, is like I think we should all, when you're thinking about drafting this running back or drafting a running back, you got to look in our room and see we don't have a thumper. That's one.
Exactly.
Rashad Penny, he's not that durable guy that we're going to have week in and week out. You got to look at that, but then also look at what we're drafting at and what's going to be available and what do we have the running backs graded at? Because say Bijan is there, but Jalen Carter's there. Who you taking?
Jalen Carter, 10 out of 10.
Exactly. Or say Bijan is there and one of the offensive linemen who offensive tackles is there. And
it's no tackle I got graded like Bijan, bro.
What only was I'm just saying it's like you have to think of.
I know what you're saying. Positional value,
the guard tackle. Yeah, but it's
absolutely.
And it depends. And you're correct. I think this is a weak offensive line, a weak offensive tackle draft anyway. So
like top of the draft is weak, right? That like you don't have a dude Joe Thomas you're gonna put on the left side starting for the next decade, potential Hall of Famer. But I think that there's a lot of value to be had, like Matt Bergeron from Syracuse. That's my guy. That's my guy. That dude is he's solid, A1. And so, you know, it's a lot of players in it. Again, like what my thing is with taking Bijan at 10, I don't care if you hit home runs with everything else. It's an opportunity to hit a home run with every pick you have in this draft. If that's what Howie goes out and does, and you get Bijan, plus you get a bunch of people that can fill spaces that you have, that are positional needs, also good players, I don't care, bro. But if you take Bijan and then you take a Sidney Jones in the second round, and then you miss on your third round pick, and then you don't pick again to the sixth round and you miss, Bijan is not enough to carry this team by himself, right? Like even inserting him in this really spectacular offense, there's still enough question marks on this team that he isn't going to take you there by himself. He didn't take Texas there by himself. So, you know, running back, that's not really one of those positions. But Evans, if you get a dude in the third, fourth round, baby, I'm with it.
Evan's at work right now.
That's all right. I told Ev I was gonna treat him like Skip Bayless on here, man. I was gonna get after him.
Well, the next prospect, Kendre Miller out of TCU. This is Mal started watching this guy first. He's like, me and Mal go back and forth, like, yo, have you seen this guy? Have you seen this guy? Check this guy out. When you got a second, check this dude out. So Kendre Miller, man, a guy, I was just like, how good is this guy going to be? Because you start formulating your opinion, you start thinking TC. Obviously, some people try to scout the school. At the end of the day, Zach Evans left for Ole Miss. This guy, he just took over the opportunity.
Yeah.
When you get an opportunity to be the guy, Kendre Miller became the guy. In terms of again, he's 6'2", 220. Right. That's size, but is he a power type? But he's pretty elusive for his size. Definitely down around the end zone. Got a nose for the end zone. Really freaky when he gets down there. He'll do whatever it takes to get in the end zone.
Yeah.
Definitely see the want to, but I don't think he's a power type back. I think he's elusive for his size, and at the end of the day, he definitely popped on tape.
Yeah. Kendre get busy, man. Right, that yards per carry is just that tells you all you need to know, bro. For a dude his size, like I think. Sorry, Tank. I just wanted to jump in here real quick. This is my guy right here, man. Like I fell in love with Kendre during the season just because I'm like, yo, he's so explosive, bro. Right, and you see the body type, and I'm like, damn. Like when I see somebody built like that can move as quickly side to side, plus get north and south, I'm gonna always be enamored. And so he jumped out to me as a player from that team that could do some damage in the NFL. And I still stand by that. But I agree with what Gail said, and I think it's what Tank said about Penny. Because they're built like that, don't mean they have the mentality of it, right? That like Rashad Penny referred to himself as a slasher. I think Kendra would be the type of running back that refer to himself as a playmaker. Like Garrett Blount, the type of football player that refer to himself as a power back, right? And so I don't think any of these dudes, even though they have the physique, even Bijan has the physique, that's not how they think about themselves. And so, I don't think you bring Kendra in here to be a pounder. That's what I'm saying. Bring Zeke Wash-Dash in here for them 3 yards that you need and let him pound away. And you let these young boys get crazy.
A cloud of dust and a Hardy Io Silver.
But Kendra, man, that's my guy for real.
Have you seen any Kendra, Big Tank?
Yeah, you talking about TCU?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he was handling a bit. It was like to me, he was handling a bit. You got to look at they play a little bit of their playoff run. He was like actually like they was talking about the quarterback being that guy. But if you look at what he did, especially in that Baylor game when they came back and beat Baylor, he was handling business, and it was just like because I like him. I like him all around because he can catch the ball, and he's one of those guys. Like Mal said, his yards per carry, they dude. It's like sometimes you there was a couple times I saw his runs, and I was like, damn, where'd he come from?
Yeah,
like because it was like it looked like it was nothing there, and it was just foot in the ground downhill. That's what it's like when you look at the running back class. It's so many coming out this year that you almost can't go wrong wherever you draft one.
Yes, because they one step and go. Yep.
Yeah, but if you and then I think the good thing about that is like if you have somebody rated higher than the running back you truly want, you go ahead and get that other person. Because you're trying to build your team and make it dynamic. That's like, and then you don't want to bring the same type of players in that you already got.
Yeah, that redundancy is a killer, man. Especially at any skill position. Like you don't want a bunch of people doing the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Now, if you Bijan stands came here to talk about Bijan, this is probably not the episode for you because we are going through the running back prospects. Now, if you find somebody on the timeline,
that's funny, bro.
Go to them and say, okay, besides Bijan, who do you like? If they can't tell you who else they like on day 2 or day 3, it means they haven't, haven't done the work. They haven't done the work, and we're trying to give you other options just to
serious.
We are going to do a mock draft at the end of the show.
Yes, sir.
So we will be talking about other positions, but today is all about the running back prospects that we like. But this guy is a kind of he gets kind of lost in the mix. But again, Sean Tucker, since day one that he landed on campus, he's been the guy for Syracuse. If you watch some of his tape, he does pop. He's got juice. I'm not gonna say he's a power dude, but at the end of the day, or has the wiggle, but he's got juice. Like he hits the whole. These are the later round guys that we're talking about that you could implement into a rotation.
He's the kind of guy that you draft in the 4th or 5th round, and he turned out to be a killer. So I'm just like, it's like when you look at the way because he just spews consistency, and it's like maybe his best football may still be ahead of him. It's like it's kind of like I don't know if you guys remember back
when
a
young boy too.
Yeah, you remember? I don't know if you guys remember back in the draft. Jonathan Sullivan was a D tackle at the University of Georgia. Richard Seymour was also on that same team and got drafted later on.
Yeah.
And you see who turned out to be better. Richard Seymour turned out to be a Hall of Famer. Jonathan Sullivan, the guy who got drafted like in the top 6 pick, the top 6 pick turned out to be a bust. So it's like sometimes when you get those guys in the later round, they're just getting their thing going, and everything. It's like it's hard to describe. That maybe they're hungrier and their seeds are second. Just like we were talking about waiting on guys to show up. Like everybody, somebody put up Trey Sermon earlier. I was like, we wouldn't really be talking about this had Trey Sermon asserted his dominance.
Facts.
It's like somebody would have said in the organization would have said that
get him out there.
I want to see what this other kid can do. Get him out there.
I asked that question to Coach Singleton. I had a, I was like, he answered a lot of my questions, but that question was, he's just like, at the
He
end of
didn't
the
want to
day,
be. Remember, this is 1960s Hollis with you. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
no,
Oh,
he just said
Lord.
he said that he was an afterthought in the
Mm.
mix of all these guys here. It's like,
Yeah.
he's like, why would we?
That speaks volumes.
He said,
bro.
why would we give him, like, where is he in the conversation when there's Miles,
Basically,
AJ, Devontae, and all these weapons? He's like,
what he
he's an
said,
afterthought.
but basically,
the
Gil, what he
playmaker
said
matrix, right?
No, Gil, what he said to you is he hasn't earned the right to touch the motherfucking ball.
That's what Tank said the first time you mentioned it, right? That like if he was really that dog, we would have known that by now. Like somebody would have been he would have been rotating in for somebody, right? And so I think that we really at a point where Trey Sermon's gonna have to have the best training camp he's ever had in his life to make this team.
I like the competition.
If he shows up,
I love it.
100%. If he shows up hungry, being that thumper, because he has the body type to be a thumper. He showed at Ohio State that he could get busy between the tackles, high volume dude, right? That like there's a role for him, but he has to go get it. Nobody's gonna give it to him. Wanted to shout out real quick, Maurice, right? Because he mentioned Steve Avila, the guard for TCU.
Ooh,
that's my guy, right? Like that's one of the dudes that I love him. 330, get busy. He was his anchor at the Senior Bowl in his one-on-ones.
Look at him against Jalen Carter, man.
Yo, son.
One-on-one.
Steve Avila ain't no joke. That's a big guy that knows how to play football. So yeah, I would be A-okay with Avila and Kendre, 100% with you on that one, man. But realistically, so I'm gonna be real. I haven't really gotten into Sean Tucker the way I will, just because he didn't excite me. Right, that like I usually go for dudes that like I want to be excited and but I'm gonna get to him though because y'all talk about him. I like it.
But that's what I'm saying. He's that guy that gives you that consistency.
Okay. Yeah,
he's just consistently good. And then it's like
right.
when you add that to a pro team with an offensive line like we got, you never know what you get. And it's a later round guy that you can really take a flyer on, and he pans out. That's
I'm gonna jump on that after this show.
I mean, he's a north south kind of kid.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite type of runner.
He's not
talking about. Let's get after it.
He's like you don't even got the wiggle like you look at Charbonnet, you would think like he had the wiggle.
Charbonnet, he ain't wiggling around nothing.
He going right through it. Okay.
It sounds like the DB is like he's not gonna move. Oh God, he's that guy.
I'm gonna bring up let's see, bear with me real quick. There's a lot of dudes to be talking about here.
I guess you wondered where I've been.
We can go with Israel Abanikanda from Pitt. Now at the end of the day, he's not LaShawn McCoy. But he's one of those guys. He's got some size, but he does run kind of upright. You would think that he's more of a power, got some power element to the game, but he does have some juice. At the end of the day, like again, we're talking about some traits that you could take advantage of in the later rounds. These are the guys that you could be part of a rotational.
Yeah.
But if he run, I know he runs upright. He's going to get tattooed in the league. I'm sorry. They're going to. It's a matter. It's like
get him with the right coach. You get him with the right coach. Get him with the right coach.
I feel like some of that is intuition, bro. That like I feel because that's part of my issue with Quentin Johnson, the TCU wide receiver. He's an upright strider, and so in the NFL they're gonna get their hands on him. Like some of it is training. But some of it is just you reverting back to what you've always done. And so if a dude run upright, a lot of times they just stay upright and get the hell beat out of them in the NFL. So I like him. He also had a little bit of kick return juice too early on in his career. So yes, Sean, you already know we're going to get to him. I told Gail specifically we had to get Deuce on here, bro. But yeah, I like him. I feel like it's this they talking about that seaweed blob that's coming to Florida. I feel like it's a running back blob through the middle of this draft, right? That like realistically, they all kind of the same guy with subtle nuances to their game. Unless you're talking about satellite dudes like Deuce or like a chain, like the super fast dudes. Most of these guys is in the middle. They play steadily at their college, right? Nothing jumps off the tape as like a Bijan Robinson necessarily. They don't have the Jahmyr Gibbs speed, but like they they razzle dazzle like Charbonnet, or you know, like you said, Sean Tucker, consistent north south, going to run people over. And so if you're a coaching staff that knows what you want, you communicate your needs well to your front office, you could walk out of here with one or two phenomenal backs that like you could run for years.
You run to the ground, run them into the
unfortunately
not into a second contract.
RIP the running backs, because I respect the position, but y'all get running to the ground, son. Like,
well, you know,
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's like you longest gone by the wayside is the bell cow that used to like
definitely
carry teams. It's like it's no more. It's like you. Like I don't, you don't, but you just don't see that anymore.
There's no Cadillac Williams in the top 5 anymore. There's no
Zeke
Ricky
in the
Williams,
top, whatever. Yeah.
No Ricky Williams, no John Carter's.
Ricky Williams. They traded the whole draft for Ricky Williams.
Somebody's talking to me about Cedric Benson earlier today.
Oh,
saying that he was a can't pick back in the day. Yeah, Cedric Benson, right?
Yeah.
They're like
Kijana Carter.
Kijana Carter, yeah.
But man, Cedric Benson used to run. Cedric Benson, Steven Jackson. I'm trying to think of the motherfuckers who ran hard and made examples of people. Michael Pittman, Michael Pittman Sr.
Yeah, Mike Pittman Sr. Who was the you mentioned Jamal Anderson earlier.
Jamal Anderson didn't run hard to me.
Jamal Anderson ran hard.
Little dirty bird action? No.
Yeah, he got busy though.
He was a bird. He was soft and tender like a woman.
Yo, my God.
Can't get nobody props to lay down in front of me. Put his tail between.
He ain't want no smoke, man. He got children to go home to. You a career ender, man. He good. Eddie George was a killer. That's my guy.
I did knock out Deshaun Foster when I was playing for the Saints.
See, look at you. Knocking people out, talking about you want Jamal Anderson for the smoke. Nah, he ain't stupid.
The funniest thing, it was on the exact same stunt too. I was coming around the bend unblocked. Deshaun cut up in the gap. Bam! I called the Saints huddle. I was like, how's Bilby one? Deshaun came and got in that huddle. And I was like, yeah, take him to the sideline. He came and got in that huddle by mistake and put his hands on his knees.
Yo, the next prospect, I'm gonna let Mal talk. Do this guy justice. Mohamed Ibrahim from Minnesota.
Oh, man, listen. So this is one of every PFF mock draft. If you see me post a mock draft, he's gonna be my last pick every time because he's always there. What I like about Mo Ibrahim is the same thing I say every time, right? It's somebody that knows their role, gets north and south, but his contact balance is impressive. Like I watched him versus Rutgers because I watched RU football. I watched them pretty much the whole season. Coming back from a torn Achilles, and Tank, you talked about this last episode about the like when folks have time to rehab and come back, right? It's usually that year after, but he came back like the year right after the surgery, not the year a year gap, and balled the hell out, man. Nice. Heavy touch dude. I think that if y'all haven't watched him yet, give a chance. And be impressed with what you see. Consistent. It's like sort of what you said about Tucker, except he's older, but consistent. If I put him on the field, I have no question about what he's going to give me. And he is committed as a third down pass blocking back. Just Mr. Trustworthy, man. And so I value stuff like that, especially in somebody who could get in maybe the 6th or 7th round. Why the heck not?
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about late round flyer on a guy, he's one of those dudes where he's not gonna wow you with like athleticism, but like one cut, put his foot in the grass, give you some tough yards.
You're gonna be impressed when the linebacker fills the hole, right? That like the linebacker properly identified, click and close, and that linebacker is laying on the ground and Mo running for another 10, and you'll be like, "What just happened?" And he does this all game long, bro. And so it's a lot to fall in love with, especially if a running back coach. Man, this is the type of guy you stand on the table for because you don't got to do a whole shitload of coaching, right? Like you can get him in your room and he add a hell of value. You focus on these other dudes.
Well, yeah, that's the one thing about the lower round prospects, the late round prospects, and the guys who you may bring in as free agents. Yeah, is most of those guys you want them to be polished already. Right. So so all they do is they come in and they learn what they're supposed to do, and you have to spend a bunch of time. So when they pop off the film, it's like, and that's what I want to trade. That's why when we first brought Trey Sermon back here, I was thinking that he was going to be that type of kid,
Yeah.
like already be polished. Because if the coach has to waste time, coach you, if you're not a top round pick, he's not going to waste that time.
Period.
It's like he may tell you what to line up and what he's expecting from you. I was
Yeah.
like, but the rest of it, you have to already be polished, and you have to force them. You have to force feed them you. It's like you got to like we were talking about earlier. You have to pop off the tape, and they have to make it like we need to get this kid some time on the field. I'm a case in point. Remember when Jacoby Dean played those 15 snaps? The first play he was in there, he lifted that motherfucking guard up that pull,
off, man.
and then the next play he dropped the running back in the backfield. That's what you got to do as a late pick and a undrafted free agent. That's the stuff you have to do.
I mean, look at Reed Blankenship, right? Like Reed was jacking people up in the preseason. Man, made the whole team, bro. Dark horse. Nobody thought he had a chance. He made that 53.
Exactly. That's like from the point I was like when I first met Reed, I was like, who's from Middle Tennessee? Who's from Middle Tennessee? Because they showed his highlights on one of the places that was doing the draft. They were showing his highlights, and I saw him with the pick six. I thought he was a brother.
It's made brothers named Reed, bro.
You'd be surprised.
The next prospect I want to bring up Chase Brown from fighting Illini. At the end of the day, I talk about that Canadian chip on your shoulder. Him and his brother Sydney both got that edge to him, but I think you're Canadian trying to come and make it in the United States and make it to the league. These guys they got a chip on the shoulder, I think. I'll be
right back.
Chase Brown, I watched him at the Senior Bowl. Now he wasn't like wowing like Spears was, but at the end of the day, he watching his tape, man, he's a guy that can put his foot in the ground and go, man. I'm not gonna say he's the most powerful dude, but I think he when you do like if I'm gonna describe his game, it'd probably be like I used to call Smallwood Old Navy. I mean, this ain't the sexy pick. You ain't trying to be flashy. This is Old Navy.
Oh, baby.
He just gives you what you need. You expect, but I think he could find a role in a rotational system. But I think he's got to protect the football. He's had some fumbles in his past, but I think Chase Brown did show out at the combine. He did show off that athleticism. So Chase Brown from Illini, what do you think of his game?
Yeah, I like it, bro. I've been grinding his brother's tape because I wanted to see that secondary for Illinois, man. They got a late round dude too, potential day 3, who was actually they free safety who could be in play for the Eagles. We'll get into him, I'm sure, at some point. But who just demolished the combine. But Chase, man, I like him. I think for what you mentioned about the fumbles is because his mind, he's a play, like he sees the end zone no matter where he is on the field, right? And so I respect that. I think that, that's a coaching piece where you come in and you say, hey, listen, high and tight, you got to keep your satellites on. You gotta be aware of your surroundings with that ball in your hand. Somebody's coming to get you. And so I think it's something you could coach out of him. But he's experienced back, man. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Hey, Mal, on that coaching piece, don't fumble. Especially if you coming in as a late round guy or undrafted free agent,
right?
Don't fumble. The one
just that simple.
No, because it's like as soon as you fumble, you're gonna be like, that's why you didn't get drafted. That's gonna be the first thing they say. That's why you didn't get drafted. That's why you fell. That's why you fell so far, because you couldn't hold on to the rock. You can look at the end zone all you fucking want to. You don't rest. You don't rest or relax until you get your ass there. It's like I understand all that, but that shit is made up for dreamers. If you're trying to play football on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursday nights, motherfucker, you better hold on to that rock.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like he'll get that message, and he's somebody. If he does hold on to the football, is what you mentioned before. You don't got to coach a ton. Like he's seen plenty of reps in college. He went through 2 different programs in college, right? Somebody had a chip on his shoulder, had to prove it. So I like him. Again, this is the like amorphous blob of running backs. Now, nobody really like jumps out at me in this group of like, yo, I gotta have him. I think that's more so in the early stages, or if you fall in love with a chain, or a Tajay Spears, guys that have a little bit more juice, but could fall in the draft. The rest of these dudes, big back dudes, maybe bruisers, maybe dancers, maybe a little bit of both. It just depends on what kind of offense and how you see them being utilized, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I keep seeing in the comments. I keep seeing somebody talk about McIntosh, and then somebody's also talking about Mims out of Fresno State. I'm soured on Fresno State after Donnell Pumphrey. So
he went to he went San Diego State.
He was San Diego. Yeah.
I'm just that whole coast right there. I'm just
he just done with California. He said keep them all, bro.
Well, Kenny McIntosh from Georgia, talk about like when in his role, like what he would like, what would he be here? I think he's kind of in line of that Kenny Gainwell role.
Yeah.
When I think of him as a pass catcher, and I actually watched the interview with him down at the Senior Bowl, and then I tried to get an interview with him on the field, but then your boy, what's his name, agent.
Who's his agent?
Same agent as
Slays. Big play.
Same agent as T.O.
Drew Rosenhaus.
Yeah, sorry, my brain is dead. Drew Rosenhaus.
Yeah, he's a dick.
So I was like, okay, if Drew's your agent, that means you're expected to be
connected, bro.
Second to third. So yeah. McIntosh,
but now sometimes Drew is he gets the lower tier guys as well. I talked to
some
him
pro bono work.
About to fire my agent.
He said pro bono work.
Yeah, he's doing a little pro bono. Give it back to the community.
We would call it strip club money.
Oh man.
But I like the hands, right? That like you talking about somebody with 76 catches, 861 receiving yards in college at 6'1", 210. And you ain't gonna hear too much complaint from me, right? Like if that's your third down back, I like that situation for you. Again, amorphous blob, right? That like he stands out because of his catching ability, but I feel like I would rather address this maybe on day 2, where it's gonna be some backs that add juice in a way that some of these day 3, late round dudes maybe don't. Like I would grab somebody day 2 and then end it with like an Ibrahim, and feel good about my running back group.
Speaking to end it, before we end this podcast, obviously, if you're here for draft talk and dorking it out, thank you for stopping by. If you're here just to be a Bijan stan, you probably left 5 minutes into this podcast.
Wrong episode.
So we are going to end this podcast with a mock. But before doing that, we want to give a shout out to PhillySportsTrips.com. Make sure you guys follow them at Sports Trips PHL for more information. They do.
City trip.
Yeah, they're doing an NFL draft trip. Big Tank will be on there eating some great poupon as well.
Don't get mad those owners like that sometimes.
Maybe I
Tank out here, bro.
Maybe I can
favorite
first
trip,
class.
My favorite where? My favorite.
What was your favorite trip, Tank?
So far it was it's been all the trips be great though, dude.
Yeah, he said it's impossible.
Well, now it's like you look at the Arizona trip. When we went
I heard
down
that was bananas.
That was awesome too.
Yeah,
even going back, especially going back to the Super Bowl too. But the first time out there, that was sweet, dude. Because I had a ball last spread of bacon and eggs and stuff, and at the place where we watched the game, where we had the tailgate and stuff. It was right there next to the stadium. I stayed there for a little extra time and watched the first half of the game. But then you also look at they just had the Clearwater trip for baseball. It was sweet, dude. It was down there cheering them on. It was 10,000 people at the stadium. We had Charlie Manuel, Sarge, Larry Boa. Boa was there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. It was cool, dude. They won.
Listen,
they
man.
won the games. I wanted to see what happened when they were down there for St. Patrick's Day. I wondered what it was, and they had like about 250 people.
It was turned up. You know that.
Yeah, probably was turned
so
up.
Listen, y'all heard it here first, man. Philly Sports Trips, lock in with them. You know, I'm excited. Listen, my son will be 1, so I'm gonna be out here. I'm gonna be running around again. You feel me? So you know, I'm looking forward to tapping in, man. But you know, Philly Sports Trips, like they get the job done. You know, they take good care of you. So always tap in with them. Like that's big business.
Yeah, now, and then my boys, in 5 to 7 business days, y'all will have y'all damn Skippy t-shirts or PhillySportsShirts.com. Nice. I'm lacing it with everybody's size. I had to make sure I got my people's size too, because I don't want to run into family trouble.
Yeah, listen. But my shirt at, bro.
That's what they gonna say. Where the fuck my shirt at? I was like, memo.
How are we're gonna start mocking it out to close out this podcast. You know,
you did 7, bro.
7 rounds, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't short the people. Don't short the people.
I got it on 7, don't I?
Yeah. All right. I don't know. I can't see.
Who we gonna start out with? Who we gonna start out trying to grab first?
That depends on the board, bro.
You know what I want to see? I want to see what happened if we got Jalen Carter.
Yo, so Jalen Carter,
you're not getting.
Oh man, I don't see Jalen falling, bro.
Damn it, I can dream.
I think he's
they
done.
had their dream last show. I need my dream this show.
Listen, yo,
my thing is like who's in front of us? Like you got damn Atlanta sitting in front of us. Like you can like the odds of him getting past Atlanta. That'd be tough.
Can I keep it real?
Yeah.
My hope, who falls, is Tyree Wilson. Dude, Tyree Wilson in this defense, monstrosity, son. Monstrosity. Gail, I just want you to go back and watch Tyree, right? And don't look at Tyree as who he is as you're watching the tape. Yeah. Look at who he would be in this defense. Because Tyree Wilson is getting triple teamed and literally dragging people to the quarterback, bro. Like, I mean, I have my issues with Miles Murphy inability to transfer his power into like.
I did go back and check out Miles Murphy, and I thought about what
you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I said it's like I thought about what you said. I was really just looking at the way he was getting to the quarterback, and then I looked at it definitively, and it looks like it's a chore that will be in the NFL. It will be a chore because too many people are getting their hands on it. Put it that way.
Yes.
And if you let somebody in the NFL get their hands on you, they're not letting go.
Right. So his handwork's got to get. I like
way
a lot better.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with him, like bro. Like
who? With Murphy or Tyree?
With Murphy.
Yeah. Well, same sort of situation with Tyree Wilson, right?
Yeah, that's why.
But look at Tyree's ability to stumble into some of these things because his arms are so long, dude. That like sometimes he's just goofy smacking people out the way, and like that shit works. And so for me, I've seen more of him stumbling into a secondary and tertiary pass move that I didn't see from Miles Murphy and didn't see from maybe some of these other pass rushers kind of in that range. But Tyree, monster. But anyway, that's not. I don't want to divert this. I'm sure we'll get the edge at some point. But bro, baby.
Okay. Well, like the last podcast that we did, we had to do a Bijan Stan mock. I didn't even think I wasn't going to share that to the timeline, but Ev put that out there. I was like, I thought it was just for a show, you know, because I'm not really trying to like set off the narrative like that.
So what are we gonna do this time?
That's why I'm trying. Before we get into like, let's
player available.
Which vibe do you want to go?
Okay, let's do this. Let's do best player available. So this is what we do. We let the people in front of us draft, and then when it gets to us, see who's the best player available, and we roll off that.
Okay.
We got Sports Game talk about trade back and take Carter at 15. He ain't falling 15, my guy.
What Carter is at 15? Because it ain't Jalen. He might not be at 5.
Let's go. We're gonna start the draft here.
Yo, Sports King. rewatch Luke Van Ness, bro. And a lot of what we're saying about Miles Murphy is the same with Van Ness, but Van Ness's arms aren't long enough to get away with it. Like you want to, I'm not trying to differentiate or disrespect your ability to analyze tape as much as look for the subtleties, bro. You want to see this person be able to disengage hands, be able to block shed at like a rate that's worth a top 15 pick.
I didn't take it. I didn't take it like that, man. I just when I went back and looked at it more definitively, and I kind of put him in the mindset of going against pro style offensive linemen.
Yeah,
and I was like, man, they're gonna have their dick beaters all over this young boy.
All right. Now we're gonna talk about the picks that went off the board. C.J. Stroud went off the board. 1, Anthony Richardson at 2, Will Anderson at 3, Levis.
I like Levis for the Colts.
F4 to the Colts. Jalen Carter to the Seahawks at number 5. Christian Gonzalez to the Lions at number 6. Bryce Young to the Raiders at number 7. Tyree Wilson to the Falcons at 8, and JSN to the Bears at 9.
So who did this?
Devin Witherspoon.
Got to be Spoon. But who did this push, yo? Could just scroll down a little bit for me.
Skoronski.
What's Skoronski?
Yeah, Skoronski. Okay. And maybe Kalijah. Because I'm curious. Because I'm like, I see Smith and Bajiga. I see JSN.
He's moving up.
Yeah, he ran 4.46. Let's be serious. Yeah. And then I see Gonzalez go, but they push Witherspoon down. I mean, if we're sitting here, it's got to be Spoon. But if we trading back, then look at the option.
So Devin, sitting on the board is Devin Witherspoon, Quentin Johnson from TCU, the wide receiver, Peter Skoronski for tackle, potential guard.
I take Devin Witherspoon.
Yeah, I would go Spoon.
Because that's one of the ones you don't piss around and you don't wait. If he falls to you, then you jump right on that right motherfucking now.
Okay, let's see, we trade. No, we take him here. We'll just do we'll make it nice and easy for the fans here.
Yeah, we're gonna make it nice and easy.
Zay Flowers sitting here, run to the board. So what I will say is that Deonte Banks falls a lot, and I like Banks, bro. You know, he reminds me of like he's not nearly as physical as Spoon, clearly.
But do you like Banks more than you like Will McDonald?
No, hell no. Well, Will McDonald, one of my favorite players in this draft.
I'm going Will McDonald.
Yeah, I'm going McDonald here.
Yeah, I'm going Will McDonald.
Josh Downs is the second.
For the people listening, Deonte Banks is on the board, cornerback from Maryland. Will McDonald, the edge from Iowa State. Joshua Downs, we like his game, wide receiver North Carolina. Exactly. DeJuan Jones, mentioned in the chat a couple times tonight. Iowa State. Tanner McKee from Stanford. Felix.
I got to go Will.
A new I can't. We'll just say FAU.
The only person that I would even entertain is BJ Ojulari, just because of the physical capability. But Will already knows how to defeat tackles, and like his pass rushing is his toolbox is up there, man. So we're gonna go Will. That boy get busy, done. He gets busy.
Will.
He's one of the freaks, Bruce Feldman freaks,
bro. Busy, and he was getting right. Every time you pop it on, you're like, okay, this is one. Yeah, he's one of them.
Yeah, he was doing that little extra stuff like falling into the sacks and stuff. That shit was sweet.
Hey, Gibbs was on the board. Gibbs was on the board, and we didn't take him.
Nah, I'm okay.
Let's go.
All right, I was just for the Gibbs stand. I had to let the Gibbs stand know.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we're now
when I took him at 30. I hate.
We're now our second pick in the draft here. Guys that are on the board are Tank Dell, Garrett Williams,
trade back.
Trade
back. See if we get some
picks. Mm-hmm.
I thought we were not doing trades.
Nah, we do the trade right now.
Let's see. Indianapolis Colts. How far do you want to trade back? They want to.
I mean, I would say if you give them 62, right? Hit 62, do 79 or 106, and see what they talking about.
So the Buccaneers are at 82, Miami Dolphins are at 84, Bills are at 91, and the Colts are at the 79th pick. They're asking us to trade back. So you want to go to 79?
Yeah, let me see what they talking about. 79.
We giving up 62.
We
want them.
Too.
106.
Yeah, 120, 138, 138.
138.
Yeah. 221. Bang, we in there.
Sheesh.
We just it's a heist move.
So we're getting the ninth pick, 106, 138, and 221.
It's a heist move.
Trade is accepted. Resume the
So
draft.
sorry, folks. I just wanna make clear. I was saying that if you miss on Spoon, somebody like Deontay Banks is available to you at the end of the first round. Don't take both of them. They're the same damn player. Spoon is a better Deontay Banks. But if you miss on Spoon, some good corners in this draft that you could still grab too.
Yeah.
For me, it's Carl Banks, bro. 10 out of 10 times.
So right on the board, we have cornerbacks from Syracuse, Garrett Williams, edge from Army, Andre Carter, Carl Brooks, edge from Bowling Green, Travius Hodges Tomlinson from cornerback TCU. Oh, Jamie Robinson from Florida State.
Bro.
Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson.
Hell no.
No, I actually watched Michael.
Battle.
I actually watched Michael Wilson.
Yeah, he get busy with the routes.
Yeah, man. Surprisingly,
Jordan Battle isn't terrible.
Huh?
Just a Jordan Battle isn't terrible.
Let's see. Dwayne McBride, Darius Rudge. We Tank Bigsby's on the board.
I like Darius Rudge. The Darius
cornerback.
The corner. I don't know, man.
That's the cornerback, ain't it?
Yep. Yeah, it's the big corner. He's big, but he's so technically far from being ready.
So what you think? At this spot, what would you go?
Right now,
would you go for the running back?
I would go Carl. No, I'll go Carl. That give you that flex player, like a dude 6'3", 300 with juice like that, bro.
Kendra Miller's on the board.
I would go Tank before Kendra, just for the positional like running back group. He probably makes more sense.
Do you want to go Tank or you want to wait on Tank?
I'll wait. I'm not taking no running back right here with Carl on that board.
Go take Carl.
We picked Carl last draft.
I pick Carl every draft because he's a horse.
And
he's available.
So we went two edges and
Carl's 6'3", 300, bro. He's not an edge. He's gonna kick inside as a 3 technique.
Kick inside.
Let's see. Bro, we're pick 94. Tank just went off the board.
So hold on, do me a favor. So go instead of go to safety. I want to see something real quick up top. Yeah, no. Scroll the where the players are. Yeah. Scroll up. Yeah, right there, and then just click safety. It's at the bottom.
Yeah,
I'm curious. So JL Skinner, that's my guy.
Okay,
when y'all get into the tape on JL Skinner from Boise State. I like him a lot. It's a couple people in here. Shamari Connor ran well. Definitely interesting prospect. But yeah, get into your JL Skinner, man. Good football player, bro.
What about Robinson here?
Jamie, the hips are so stiff. I don't think he can ever play center field. And if he can't play center for us, I don't think he's better than Reed Blankenship in the box. Yeah. So for me, it's back to the redundancy piece.
We got Williams.
Go look at
Williams.
I wouldn't be mad at Garrett Williams right here. That's money.
I mean, and if you're looking for a big body wide receiver, Mike Wilson.
You got Dwayne McBride. That's Tank's boy.
Dwayne McBride.
Dorian Williams is decent.
But I would take McBride here.
KJ Henry's my guy.
Kendra Miller's on the board.
Not bad.
Tyjae's on the board. We're the third round.
Yeah, that's the money spot right here. I would take Garrett, bro.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like
Garrett. At that point, Garrett Williams, they coming off an ACL tear, but you get him at 94.
We got no developmental wide receivers. We'll see next round.
Developmental wide receiver. We need a third wide receiver.
Hey, we're in the fourth round. We ain't got no offense yet.
All right, Gail. So real quick, let's do a summary for the folks, bro. People asking who have we drafted so far.
Where do you see where we drafted?
Yeah. So if you go, you just scroll the rounds and we'll just go through. So round one, we decided to go Devin Witherspoon, cornerback from Illinois, to get in there and get physical for us. Will McDonald, edge rusher from Iowa State, tooled up specimen that's also a supreme athlete. Get us the pass rush going. We need that.
Traded back from 62 to 79.
To 79. Yeah, picked up some additional picks. get us a running back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 79.
We ended up going with Carl
Tillman.
Brooks.
The Tillman's running up that list. Yeah, Carl Brooks. He's an edge rusher on paper, but 6'3", 300 kick in, three technique.
Yeah, that's a 3 technique.
Excited about him.
Sometimes a center killer.
Yeah, so and I love him even like maybe a shade, right? They're like a little bit off the shoulder.
Shade or what we call a cock. Pause.
So
we went
Garrett Williams at 94, Syracuse. So we double up on
corner. I like it though, because it gives Garrett a year to heal up, man, learn the system. But I feel like Garrett Williams, Devin Witherspoon on your boundaries, your outside corners.
What number's our next pick?
We are 106. Next at 106.
We have Kendre Miller on the board, Jalen Jones.
Actually, if I'm gonna be honest,
I'd go Kendre over Dwayne.
Really? Okay. I was gonna say I might go Dwayne just because he's more the like actual banger, but I think Kendre is the better football player.
Tajae's on the board too.
I feel like we need a guard or something.
We don't care we don't care about no offense. Damn,
yo, Keyshawn Boutte, has there been a person that's lost more money over the past year than this young man?
Wow. Oh my God, he's lost so much money.
Wow. Yes, I hope he could come to the league and earn it back.
And regain it. Yeah. You can never regain that.
Yeah, I do like Jaden Reed from Michigan State.
JL Skinner right here, bro, and then let's go running back next pick.
Oh man, no offense, bro.
No offensive line.
Running back next pick, bro.
You talking about offensive line, O-line?
Yes, I'm thinking. Oh, Roshan's on the board.
That's what I'm telling you. Don't go running back right now. Go JL Skinner, get that safety, and then we get that running back.
I'm trying to see who else is on the board.
KJ Henry, I would be excited by, but we already addressed edge rusher.
Jalen Jones, Kendre Miller, Parker.
At this
Washington.
point, you looking at some develop. For me, I feel like we could go in and get
take a risk on Keyshawn Booty.
I wouldn't take a risk on him. Yeah, his athleticism. You see his 10-yard split.
I'm not gonna lie. I do like Jaden Reed. I think from watching him at the Senior Bowl, he's the one. That's the one dude that popped off.
Let's get on. Let's go.
I could be happy with that in the third round.
All right, let's go. Yeah, I'm with it. And then let's get a running back this next pick. Whoever is the best, on the board. There's also some developmental offensive lines. I'll say with Stoutland, he gives you the ability to develop folks, man. So you don't have to go and get the best guy.
Oh, Roshan's on the board.
Roshan's still there. That's perfect. I wouldn't be mad.
That's what you want, Roshan?
Yeah. Keep scrolling. Let me see who else is here. But Roshan.
Give me Roshan.
Pull
the trigger. Roshan. We in.
Give me something, damn it.
Yeah.
pick 138. Texas running back Roshan Johnson.
Yes, sir.
If you're a draft dork, I appreciate you sticking around.
Hire us, yo. We the brain trust over here, man. Come rock with us, man. We got you. You need some help? Come get with us.
Our next pick is number 219.
Oof. I feel like this is where we start looking for a developmental guard, center. You know what I mean? A tackle that maybe can kick inside.
A utility guy.
Yes, absolutely.
Pull up the matches for me, would you?
And they got a couple swing tackles. We waited.
Stetson Bennett's on the board.
I like Stetson.
Right here.
Yeah.
Asim
Richards. Click Asim, that little bubble thing. I think he's played interior too. Go down. Yeah, snaps by alignment. No, he just played left tackle. Okay.
But you could always. That's one thing.
Left guard. He's got some left guard snaps.
No, but you could always
click first look. No, you clicked out of it. Don't worry about it. I was gonna say click first look just so we can see the body all together.
6'4", 309.
I wouldn't be mad at him. Developmental tackle. We need it. You see my boy Muhammad Ibrahim. He's gonna lead the league in rushing. Don't worry about it.
It's either Stetson or Asim.
I would probably go Asim right here.
Yeah, of course.
I would go Asim just because even if you miss on Stetson, Malik Cunningham is still up here as a developmental quarterback.
So we picked Asim Richards from North Carolina, pick 219. We're next on the clock at 221.
Stetson's right there.
Stetson's there.
Pull the trigger. I'll go.
Might as well get an old guy.
Yeah, add him to the quarterback room.
One pick, 248 left in the seventh round of the draft.
Yes, sir. Muhammad Ibrahim, pull the trigger. Don't even look no further.
You don't even look no
further.
I'm down with that.
Listen.
All right.
Okay. I see the grade.
What grade they give us?
If anyone's in the chat,
like an A-, bro. Nah, people still in the chat.
Okay, so we the first round pick number 10.
We my picks.
Devin Witherspoon from Illinois, Will McDonald from Iowa State, pick number 30 in the first round. We ended up trading back from the second round to the third round. Pick 79, we picked up Carl Brooks, defensive lineman from Bowling Green. We traded back. When that trade that we moved back, we ended up picked at 94. Round 3, we picked up cornerback Garrett Williams out of Syracuse. We got a A minus, B minus, B plus, A. Okay. Jaden Reed picked 106, fourth round. Good value there. I believe that's good value. We got Tanks.
In the fifth is great round.
We got Tanks guy Roshan Johnson out of Texas.
It's my boy Roshan.
Pick 138 in round 5. Developmental tackle. We had to wait all the way to round 7. 219.
Shout out to Stoutland, baby. You make it possible.
Asim Richards, round 7, pick 221. QB Stetson Bennett, 2-time winner at Georgia. A plus for that pick. Yeah. And then rounding out with Mal's favorite guy, round 7, 248. Muhammad Ibrahim,
got us to an A, baby. Took us from an A to an A minus, from an A minus to an A. I feel like if you add Roshan Johnson, Muhammad Ibrahim into this running back group, that group is doing numbers for us, and you don't need a Bijan, right? So you know, no hate on Bijan, man. He's not generational. He's not Adrian Peterson, but he's a heck of a running back. And I feel like wherever team he goes to, I wish him nothing but success. If it's us, they run it up, but 10 is kind of high.
Yeah, but we added some young guys defensively as well. As up front and in the secondary, they can learn from the next couple of years from the older guys and be able to take the reins over and create a new nucleus. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's funny because Spoon reminds me of like a more athletic Bradbury, and Garrett Williams is sort of like a Slay, right? He's more of a finesse kind of athletic dude. And so you have two players that they could play behind that literally they can learn from over the next 2 years, step in and take over. And then you put Will McDonald into this defense, forget about it, man. On a cheap deal, the 30th overall pick, 5th year, you can control.
That's not a bad draft for them.
That's easy money right there.
I think the people that are hoping for a guard. I know. You talk about Jack Driscoll. You talk about Sewell Pettis still in that mix, and that's not even accounting for Cam Jurgens. So.
But you still
and a veteran camp body, you know.
But you still probably are going to add some undrafted free agents, especially across the offensive line, because I don't think this was a real big time offensive line draft like it's been sometime in the past. So it was no guys that other than the guys that we mentioned, it was no guys that just like mauled the shit out of people.
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
That's hurting us, right? Because there isn't that big time tackle, or there isn't that guard somebody's trying to run up to get at pick 5. So the way that the board, like this draft is even, like sort of what I said about the running back group and the wide receiver group. I kind of think about this draft kind of period that there isn't really, like, even with Will Anderson Jr., like he's not Von Miller, bro. Right? Like there isn't that guy, like Bijan is not AP. Like we want to make those projections and like shoot for the moon. But other than Jalen Carter, I feel like there aren't a bunch of game changing, like, 10 years from now, we're going to be sitting in like, how the heck did we miss on this guy? Like, I think it's going to be a lot of really, really good football players in this draft. And so, again, I hope Howie is in strong communication with his coaching staff and they're able to pick the guys that make sense. This team is close. but also this team is close to a step back, right? That like this year is going to determine how the next several years look for this team. So I'm excited, man. That was a good draft. I'm excited for the real thing, baby.
Thank you for dorking it out with us. I appreciate you guys sticking around. I love the draft season. Yes. Not everyone is about that life, but again, this is why we do it in the off season. This is what gets us through the off season is draft season. But again, before we get out of here, big shout out to Prime, who's probably bowling probably, I don't know, what is a good bowling score right now?
Isn't it 300 perfect? So he's doing he out here like a 240. You know, he a professional.
Ev's out here working as well, but shout out to those guys.
Yes, sir. What up, fellas?
But before we get out of here, man, last word.
The gap between.
I was waiting on the.
Y'all be messing take up with this, man.
You want the
graphics, yeah.
Last word.
Yeah. There you go, man. I'll have at
it. Yo, the gap between Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs and the rest of this running back class isn't as big as people are making it out to be. Bijan Robinson is a very good running back, excellent football player, but I don't know that he comes in here and turns this team into the juggernaut that people are envisioning. I always say get away from the highlights and get into grinding the tape, just because it'll show you things that you may not see. Highlights are intended to show you the best case scenario. You want to see what a person doesn't do well. And then kind of start basing your assessment from there to see if it's a fit. So, yeah, man, best time of the year for me, aside from football season, and excited to keep grinding this tape and keep talking these prospects with y'all.
Yeah. Well, my last word comes, it's like happy to have my man's Gail back. He had a little technical difficulties yesterday. I was having a bunch today.
My God.
Right. I didn't know we were doing the show, but then I saw what the show was going to be about, and I hustled my ass home just to say, hell no, we ain't going to, no cowgirls on our team.
I got you.
So, but no, it's like, this is a great time to be, especially to be a Philly fan in general in all the sports aspects. So let's enjoy these moments and go Birds.
Yeah, man. Just shout out to everyone who stuck around, all the people that are listening later on to the podcast. Hopefully, we informed you on some of the running back prospects that are not named Bijan Robinson. Explore your mind. Enter the draft minds of the rest of these folks out here that are doing the work and checking out these other prospects. At the end of the day, we're going to keep pushing forward. We'll see you guys in the next one. And draft season is in full swing.
Yes, sir.
Fly, Eagles, fly.